So grew up in Massachusetts on the South Coast, which is essentially a stretch that runs from the Cape over to Rhode Island, not to be confused with the South Shore, which from us is a mall.
That is a big difference, Tim.
That's a plaza. So we're on the South Coast. So grew up down there. Got involved in the Rhode Island medical marijuana program as an advocate, as a caregiver. And 2012, the ballot initiative was getting close to the November vote. We went to Northampton and engaged some legal counsel to help us try and navigate the application process. So we were very early into the market, went through the first round of applications. I think there were 180 applicants.
Wow. 181.
Yep, 181. We had a very high score, a lot of local support because we were from the area. Our initial application was New Bedford, and then we ended up into Fairhaven in the open county application process. And
now, Tim, it's kind of interesting, your application, because at the time there were 20 allowed. I think you were on the wait list.
We were on the bubble. Yeah.
You're on the bubble, and as a result of everything hitting the fan on politics with Congressman Delahunt and so forth, there were a number of applicants knocked off that moved you up into the spot.
So we were in the open county application process. So at that time, it was the islands, so Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, and then way out west, so Deerfield, Berkshire County. And then in June of 14, when they kind of reshuffled the deck a bit, Bristol County opened back up, and we immediately just stuck our hand up and said, nice. Coastal Compassion, which is Basque. So Basque is the new name of Coastal, which was the applicant in that early round, said, we're from here. We originally applied here, and we pounded our chest a bit and ended up securing the license.
Now, Tim, I think the one thing, you can't underplay that you're a local kid from the area.
Correct.
But with that being said, you're involved in this business, and you're a businessman as well, and that goes far. So explain the ability for you to move forward. It's not just because you're a local kid.
Right. I mean, that certainly helped, right? It set, I think, the local elected officials at ease, and there was some level of responsibility that, if we were going to do this, and again, this was early days. This was still very new. There weren't dispensaries that were open. People were still, really...
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of trepidation back
then. They were
then.
freaked out, quite candidly. Like, what does this mean? What do you mean? And by being local, you could say, I'm from the area. We're not going to do something that's going to be, a detriment to the community. But my background was in real estate development and going through government procurement processes, designing and developing marinas and boatyards. So I was used to regulatory processes, RFPs, understanding zoning, permitting. And so the combination of that, I think helped speed up what is
and I think you put together a good team.
Yeah. Identifying, what we needed to be successful. So the team, not only were we local, but we had experience growing and processing cannabis in another market down in Rhode Island. We had a facility where we were able to take some of those elected officials to show them what a cannabis cultivation facility looked like, what a dispensary looked like. And so we had practical experience, and then rounding that out with, a strong government affairs team. Now, we were told very, very early on, no lobbyists, no license. So we kind of...
we do a good job supporting ourselves, lobbyists and lawyers.
It's a part of the process, right? Yeah. This is a bureaucratic process. There's red tape. If I were to walk into the State House in 2014 and try and knock on doors and talk to elected officials from my district or the area we were looking at operating in, I'm lost, right? Yeah. I'm a guy from the South Coast.
Yeah, you'd be talking to a lot of closed doors.
Right. Whereas, walking through with, the guys at Tremont and Beacon, they just kind of smile and wave and, help that whole process. So that was big. Our legal counsel, we've been working with Vicente Cederberg for a number of years now, and they've been tremendous in kind of helping us move through that. But at the end of the day, it turns out it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of stick-to-itiveness. You're going to get your shins kicked, and things are not going to work out the way that you think they should. But you just got to kind of soldier forth and stay focused.